Andy Lamy has played the clarinet in the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra for more than 20 years. In fact, he plays the clarinet, the bass clarinet, and the E-flat or Piccolo Clarinet, but more about that later. Besides playing in the orchestra, Andy teaches privately and at William Patterson University, and he subs in orchestras like the Metropolitan Opera and the New York Philharmonic. He's also an avid traditional Irish folk musician, an expert birder, and in his spare time, makes beautifully crafted bird whistles. We're not sure he ever sleeps.
I'm a fourth-generation clarinetist. I have a father who was a big band musician. My great-grandfather was a clarinetist in the Royal Guard, the Queen's Own Regiment up in Toronto. And he was the principal clarinet of the first iteration of the Toronto Symphony.
And as for playing in an orchestra himself,
first of all, you're getting to be right in the thoughts of some of the greatest minds of music history. And you're getting to sit right in the middle of it. So it's almost like being in the forest for a dawn chorus and being surrounded by birds, but you're surrounded by French horns and violin one and the bass and cello section. So you really get this sense of being part of a texture. Xian Zhang, she's wonderful. I've never seen a music director who is as real and personable and energetic and positive, both on and off stage.
Andy has become the go-to person for playing the smaller version of his instrument, the Piccolo Clarinet.
When I think of Andy Lamy, I think of the E-flat clarinet. He is my favorite E-flat clarinet player, even though he frequently plays second B-flat clarinet. But when he plays the E-flat clarinet, he just has the most commanding sound I've ever heard. Frightening, as a matter of fact.
Encapsulate pictures of slightly disturbing, I would guess. Which doesn't encapsulate Andy.
Sometimes called a piccolo clarinet, and this is pitched in E-flat and really has a bright ringing sound. It appears in every execution scene in music. You know, Berlioz' Symphonie Fantastique, you know, just after the guillotine. Right here in my area at St. James Gate was my first traditional session. So I got pulled into that world. The Irish traditional music has a wonderful habit of gathering all the master players and the young and old learners who join into the tradition. And I'm a learner, I feel like I'm a graduate student in the Irish traditional music. And because of the generosity and because of the culture, the great players will take the time to sit with a learner, someone who's really interested in the music. And the chieftains themselves, Matt Malloy has been kind and had me in playing as a local color guest. And what happened was they said, well, let's hear what the clarinet sounds like in traditional music. It's not very commonly done. It's not a traditional instrument. And I was fortunate to launch my album on Irish national television.
Besides being a terrific clarinet player, an Irish player, he's a real bird expert. He's led bird watching in Africa and Central America. He works for the state as far as counting birds, doing their official bird counts.
New Jersey is a very important passage flyway in spring and fall for migratory birds. Birds here from mid-March until mid-October. I'm by far not an expert in field ornithology, but found that my musical training helped me to learn the identification of bird songs and bird sounds and call notes and flight notes and distress notes and contact notes, the various chips and chirps and seeps and buzzes that birds will make.
Andy and I clicked pretty fast because our interests very much aligned. Hearing the music skills that he has go into the birding world has been interesting to see those combine. And so hearing him, I mean, the calls are very well done. They're almost a complete match. And so it's been really cool to see his musical ability combined with his birding skill.
I make birdsong whistles. They kind of end up as works of art because some of them are used as musical instruments by professional percussionists and composers.
Well, this is a bird whistle from the Andy Lamy collection of bird whistles. They sound
I've really found a lot of treasures in New Jersey. I mean, being a migratory flyaway for birds and having some great national wildlife refuges, and there's an Irish traditional culture here, and I got pulled in by the charms of the traditional music.
And it all came together when the California native found a home at the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra.
In my heart of hearts, I wanted to be a musician in an orchestra ever since about middle school. It's on so many levels, it's satisfying.